All right, guys. I am so excited for today's live podcast. Today, I have one of the best in the business as far as I'm concerned. I'm joined by Bryce McKinney. Bryce McKinley is a globally recognized as a top 5 sales trainer, a motivational speaker, independent consultant for business, including Fortune 500 companies such as Ford, Nissan, Tyco, and ADT. He was recently he has transferred those skills into real estate and is absolutely crushing it. He also helps mentor some other individuals in the real estate space. And Bryce, man, welcome to the Rocket Are You Live podcast.
What is going on, everybody? You know what time it is. Hey, man, I'm excited to be here, bro. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you, dude. No, it's my pleasure. Thank you for joining us. And for those of you, like the people out there who may not know who Coach Sharpen is, who are you and how did you get started in real estate?
Man, I appreciate that. So first and foremost, Michael, I am a dad and a husband before I am anything. And so that's who I am. And in the meantime, I'm a serial entrepreneur. And so I appreciate you having me on the show today because my time is so limited, but every opportunity that I get, I want to give back. And so that's one of the reasons why. And plus we got mutual friends, man. And so any friend of my other friend, Michael, is a friend of mine. And so, currently, I use real estate as a vehicle, but I've been a Fortune 500 business consultant for almost 20 years and predominantly around the automotive industry. And then I got into business consulting, where I was consulting with dealerships and other companies like Tyco Corporation. I've done some really cool stuff. I did some hostage negotiations with the CIA, Tyco, ADT, just to name a few, Owens Corning, things like that. And a lot of people in the business world, in the corporate world, know who I am. And just as of recently, in the last 2 years or so, I've just kind of come on the scene in real estate because I was contracted in partners in a company, and we were doing amazing, huge things. I'm sure we'll talk about that, but we didn't know it. We just went to work. And so I hope that, somebody out there that's grinding that might be watching this, I don't know your audience, Michael, but I hope that somebody out there that's just grinding and putting their nose down, like, don't get distracted by all the poo-roos, screw-roos out there and all the hype. Like, just stay focused, keep doing what you're doing, and find someone that's been equally or greater successful than you are and follow them, shadow them. Work for them if you have to, so that way you can go to the next level. So that's who I am, a little bit about me. Right now, predominantly, Michael, I focus on buy and hold rentals and wholesale. I have done most of my business in the wholesale arena. I've wholesaled in transactions, a total of just over 7,900 transactions between my team and I in the last 8 years. And I own a real estate brokerage, an investment company, a portfolio, property management company. My son's got a company. My wife's got a company. And yeah, we're doing all right, man. We've been super blessed.
That's incredible, Bryce. So like, there's a lot going on there. How did you build that? And like, how did that all come about? Like, I saw your schedule, like, man, how do you find time for all of these businesses, especially at that level?
I think to answer that question directly, how I find the time to do all of this is because of the priorities in which I place. You see, a lot of people tend to just go about their daily routine and not actually set priorities and expectations and boundaries around things. And if you look back at my schedule, I mean, as soon as I'm done here, I'm done for the day. I'm going to go out down the stairs of my house and go across the other side of the house and all across this big house and find my family somewhere on the other side of the house and be like, hey, I'm done a little early today, And then I've got a live stream back at 7:00 tonight, but we'll probably talk about that anyways. So yeah, time blocking is how I manage all of that, and finding great people, because man, and if you're just starting out, don't start finding great people right now. Like, master the process. We're going to talk all over the place today, but I promise you stick around, you won't be dissatisfied, and you'll get some major nuggets for your business. So yeah, finding great people is important, but mastery is more important.
100%. So rather than somebody going off and, trying to hire immediately, they need to perfect their craft first. That way they can, best train the person that they're hiring. So, you got some great things going on, Bryce. Like, obviously, you've only been in the real estate space for so many years. And I want people to know where you're coming from. So, it took you some overcoming of limiting beliefs, maybe just some hardships to get to this point. Like, can you talk about some of those things?
Yeah, absolutely. Do me a favor. I see like 5 or 6 people watching this. Like, drop a comment, say hi. If you know somebody that's in this group, like, tag them on this, because the rest of the time here spent is going to be for you, because somebody's got to hear what I'm about to share today, and you don't want to miss this. So make sure you drop a comment. Let us know that you're here. Let us know that you're watching. And if you're watching this or listening to this back on the podcast, hey, I'm glad you're here as well. So, it hasn't always been so hunky-dory, Michael. I'll tell you, I got to do some media stuff. I've got to say, man, how far back do you want me to go? Let me ask you that.
Man, that's your call. Like, because I think there's a lot of power in going back as far as, as you want, really.
Yeah, a great answer. Great answer. I love that. So I'll take you guys back to, it was 1998. In 1998, I was sitting in a courtroom, and in the judge's hands are my life. And I say his hands because he has 2 cases that was about to put me away for 25 to life on each one, a minimum of 50 years. I was facing 2 life sentences. Man, I didn't know what I was going to do. And in that moment, I looked at my family behind me, and I looked up at the judge, and I presented my case, and I asked him to dismiss my case based upon some certain, things. And I'll never forget, he looked at the evidence and he said, case dismissed. And I think that in that moment, I didn't know how lucky I was at the time, but in that moment, I felt like the weight of the world was lifted off my shoulders. I mean, I had been raised in a good home. My parents separated. I went from 0 to 60, hanging with the wrong crowd, and I was facing 2 counts of manslaughter. I shouldn't be sitting here. And by the grace of God and the people that he's put in my life, I'm sitting here now as one of the most respected, trusted real estate investors, speakers, coaches in the world. And I believe that everything happens for a reason. You see, we don't go to opportunities, we grow to opportunities. And in order to get the blessing that you've been wanting, in order to get the finances that you've been wanting, you've got to be able to manage the little that you have. And I'll never forget, the gavel comes down and he says, case dismissed, please return, whatever. And it all just kind of went fuzzy. And I turned around and my uncle's face is right there. And he says, you're coming with me. And I start walking toward him. And man, he grabbed me by the ear and he says, you're coming to live with me. And I ended up staying in my uncle's house for quite a while, working at a car dealership. I was detailing cars, and that's kind of where my story begins, because my professional career would actually get started, Michael, out of a desire to be better and be like other people that were having equal or greater success than I was. And so as I see all these car salesmen like doing deals and driving brand new cars. I mean, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, if you ever worked in a car dealership, you get a dealer car. So you get like a free car to drive around for 3 months. And then you get a new one. Like you get a new car every 3 months in the car business. So it was great. I didn't know the work that went into it. I just knew how to work, and I knew hustle. And so I sat there and watched this happen for a few months, and I begged and begged and begged my uncle to let me sell cars. And I don't know about you, Michael, but I grew up in the Midwest, and my birthday is Christmas Eve. So those two things combined, like it's cold in the month of December. But my uncle said at the age of 17, he said, if you can sell a car today, I'll put you on the sales team next week when you turn 18. What do you think I did?
Oh, you sold a car for sure.
I sold a car. Michael, I sold 3 cars, bro. Like I was not letting him like get one over on me. I sold 3 cars that first day, and I was hooked. I was hooked with the adrenaline. I was hooked the next week when I got a check for over like $14,000. I was in. And so I would never look back. Between the ages of 18 and 21, I became the #1 car salesman in the world, breaking every record. Heck, I haven't sold a car in almost 12 years now. And I still hold a lot of the high sales records in the automotive industry after 12 years of not selling anything. And so went on to get recruited out of my dealership by Ford Motor Company. I traveled the world. Life was great. Until 2008 came along, and 2008 comes along, and everybody's thinking, oh, the recession. No. You see, I married a girl that her mom used to be my Sunday school teacher, and I had been married. She had lost a baby in 2006, and she was battling alcohol. And Friday, June 13th, 2008, I got a phone call, and my wife took her life. And Michael, I'll tell you, man, I wouldn't wish that on anybody, because all I knew how to do was work. And so when work was no longer helping, my wife was gone. My son is gone. I didn't have anything to live for. I didn't have the why factor, right? And I'll tell you, I'll never forget, I got that phone call Friday, June 13th, and I checked out. And over the next 18 months or so, give or take a month, I don't remember. It was, well, I do. It was from about August of 2008 to March of 2010. I was on a hell-bound path of destruction. And man, $80 million and 5 companies later, I was out. And so why is that? Well, you see, March 2010, I would find out that this girl I'd been messing around with had a baby on the way, and it was mine. So I had a new desire to live. And so we were going to do the thing. I sobered up. We had a baby in November. We moved to Texas. Things were going to be great. Come to find out, she never sobered up. And so I came home one Friday afternoon, a little early from the office, and I had a contract at the time. We're all in real estate. You know, Michael, when you get a house and you close it, you know those calls you get for the next month from ADT?
Yeah.
That's my program. That's my program. So that's what I was doing. That relocation division, that program, that's my program that calls you guys. So you can thank me. My team. So that's my team that calls you guys. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. It made me a lot of money. But I came home one day, and she was passed out on the bed. There's pills everywhere. And here my baby boy is like on the ground, rolling around. And I'm just like, gosh, what now? I pack a bag, I grab my son, I take a bunch of pictures, go stay in a hotel, and Monday morning I would fight for custody of my boy. That, my friend, would be the fight of my life. And so over the next 12 to 18 months, fighting for custody of him, lots of drama. I lost my contracts with Tyco and ADT and the Pentagon and things like that. And I was sleeping in my car for almost a year. And wouldn't you know, September 28, 2011 comes along. I just got off the phone with my brother. Here it is. I've got a little baby boy in the backseat of my car. He's about to be 1. And I'm just like, man, I can't do it. So I write a letter to my mom and I write a letter to my son, and I pull my car out from behind the water tower in the middle of the road. It's about 2 a.m. maybe. And I cock the hammer on the 40 cal that sits next to my bed tonight, and I pull the trigger 3 times. 3 times it jammed in my mouth. And in that moment, I realized that we are not just physical human beings. We are spiritual beings living human experiences. And in that moment, I had an encounter with the God that I serve. I call him Jesus. You can call him whatever. I call him bro. He's kind of gangster. And in that moment, I had this experience and this like euphoria. And I'm just like, why? And I gave him an ultimatum, screaming and yelling and cussing and fighting. And wouldn't you know it, he showed up. See, the next day I had an apartment complex call me. My bank called me and told me that there was 20 grand in there and they wanted to verify that I was who I was. And I would stretch that 20 grand out over the next year in a 1-bedroom apartment. And in that path along the way, I found wholesaling real estate. And, man, it's been a journey. It's been a journey. My first month, I did 23 transactions. My second month, 37 transactions with my team. And then I found a company and partnered with them to do the backside of the deal. I just wanted to keep doing deals and minority partner there. And 2 years ago, I wanted to share with the world what we had because I didn't know that we were doing great things. We're doing 50, 60, 70 deals a month, me and 3 people. And yeah, it was kind of crazy. It was surreal because 2 years ago, like last week, it was a week before, two weeks ago today, it was 2 years to the day that we decided to part ways. I decided I was going to start coaching and speaking, and heck, it's been a crazy blessing, Michael. I live in the biggest house in the subdivision overlooking the neighbors where the same water tower is that I used to sleep.
Wow.
Like I've been on stage with Dr. Eric Thomas, Les Brown, Tony Robbins, Ty Lopez, just to name a few. Damon John from Shark Tank, him and I did a deal a couple months ago together and did a speaking engagement as well. So been really, really cool. Been super blessed, man. Super blessed. So that's my journey to where I'm at sitting in front of you, man.
That's incredible, man. So I don't know about you guys listening, but if that doesn't inspire you, then I don't know what will. If you guys are getting some fire value from this already, just make sure to tag a friend. This needs to get out to more people. So this is just getting started. We're gonna dive into the nuts and bolts. You mentioned 30 some deals in the first couple of months. That is mind blowing. So, how in the heck are you, just getting started in real estate and able to just take off and just blow off the doors out of the gates like that?
I'm glad you asked, Michael. Just know this, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. You see, I had a process, and real estate to me was just a widget. I had a proven process. I mean, I was selling 75, 80 cars a month when I was in the automotive industry. Just boom, 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 one right after another. I had a process. I didn't have these big elaborate systems. I had 3 offices in the dealership because they gave them to me. And I've moved them through this process. And it's no different. Now you can do the same thing virtually online. I didn't have a bunch of money when I started out. I found a free CRM and I built it out the way I wanted it. And now most of you nowadays know it like Beast Mode or Investorfuse. Like, yeah, my IT gal designed those, So it's like I had this process that was just like, do this, do this, do this. And real estate to me was just a widget. So I put the widget in the process and turned the gears. And that's what I did.
Sweet. So you're plugging into what you knew in the sales world, and you're just doing what you know and making deals happen.
Yeah. I mean, how simple is it? I mean, you keep, not you, but the industry, our industry overcomplicates this so much because they have been told to. Well, you got to go to this meetup and you got to go to that meetup and you got to join this group and that group and walkity, walkity, walkity. If you put marketing out, the right message, leads will come in. And then you have a conversation. Like, I don't drive for dollars. I don't go and I've been to 5 real estate meetups, Michael, 2 of which I spoke at, 1 of which I went to go hang out with my buddy Sean Whalen. No, I take that back. I spoke at 3. I went to hang out with my buddy Sean Whalen. A lot of you guys know him, speaker, motivational speaker. And then one of my students, clients, actually spoke at an event. And that's it. All the other speaking engagements is in the entrepreneur space and business space. But I've been to 5 real estate meetups and I spoke at 3 of them. So all this stuff that everybody says, like, you got to build a buyer's list. No, just go get a deal that makes sense and the buyers will come. I've proven it over and over, and I'll go up against anybody with that. Is it a bad thing to network? Not at all. Obviously, I do it and I do it well, but that's not income producing. It's income like longevity. But there's a difference between an income producing activity and an income longevity opportunity. There's a difference there. And so we just do things different, Michael. And I believe that different is better than better.
I couldn't agree with you more, man. So for those people who are out there who are like, they're pounding the phones every day, they're driving for dollars, they're spending all this time. Maybe they have a limited marketing budget. Is there a better way?
There is. Absolutely there is. I mean, where are all the homeowners that need to sell their houses? Where is everybody else in the world?
Social media, maybe, right?
Yeah. They're on their phone. They're on social media. They're browsing the internet. We don't have a lot of time to go into all my marketing strategies, but I spend like $100. I spend about $1,100 a month in marketing, and I'm closing hundreds of deals a month. Like,
it's insane.
It's on autopilot, and I teach people this stuff, and so we don't have a lot of time to go into all of that today. But I've got free challenges that people can join. And I've got clients right now getting 2 or 3 deals within 10 days of meeting me, and they've never even knew what wholesaling was. We've got a homeless guy right now in Vegas that just contracted his 20th house in less than 30 days, trusting the process.
I need to connect with that dude. I'm out here.
Yeah, you should. You can't miss him. He's got a Patriots mask on in a motorized wheelchair, and he hangs out at the Bellagio using the Wi-Fi, waiting for his deals to close.
Listen to this, guys. There's no excuse while anyone couldn't go out and have success. This guy's doing it. Anyone could do it. Yeah. Man, so you're closing deals all over the country. What kind of a team build out do you have? I know you don't have a huge team right now, but are you still doing a lot of the phone calls, or how does that look?
Yeah, no, I'm glad you asked. So I occasionally, 1 of 2 opportunities do I jump back on the phones when I'm training. So usually for about a week out of the month, for an hour each day. So 5 hours a month, I'm actually jumping in and training my acquisitions and role playing and things like that. And then once a week, we do a call as a team and I role play with them and go over objections and things like that. So I spend about 5 or 6 hours a month now, actually still doing deals myself. I did 19 deals last month on about 5 or 6 hours. So I'm still doing that. We've got a total of 4 people in our acquisition team and 2 on disposition. So we've got a team of 6 and we average about 67 deals a month. If you're looking at a 12-month span, it's about 67 a month.
Man, I completely undercut you on the title of this thing. I didn't realize you were doing that. I knew you were doing that many, but I wasn't quite sure on how many it actually was. But that's incredible.
Well, it just throws me, there's all these gurus out there that they're like, oh, come to our conference and we'll show you how to hire and train and this, that, and the other. And it's like, yeah, so you're doing 20 deals a month and you've got 50 people on your staff. You're all starving.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
At some point the overhead just outweighs the profit. It's not about what you make, it's about what you keep, right? So I would imagine with only 4 people, you guys eat pretty well.
I'm not doing too bad, my friend. I'm not doing too bad. Like in the process of buying an island off the coast of Belize, doing all right. Doing all right.
So I like to get into a deal, maybe that you're working an hour that you close that was recognizable. I know there's a lot of deals to think about here, but do you have one that you want to talk about that maybe was awesome or could inspire somebody?
A deal I've got 2 that come to mind. Number 1, I don't know how long you've been in the business, Michael, but if anybody watching this or listening to this remembers, about 4 years ago, there was a big biker rally gang shootout in Waco, Texas. Do you remember that?
I did hear about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So this is probably one of the coolest, craziest, most profitable deals I've ever made, all in one deal. And then I've got a really crazy, scary, not really scary, but I like to talk about it around Halloween. So it kind of fits. So this deal here, I'll never forget. I got a phone call and this guy sounded like the nicest guy in the planet. And I'm like, he's just a good old Texan. He was super nice. He was very polite. And he's like, well, I don't have a computer. I'm going to have to come see you. I'm like, all right, that's fine. So this is one of 5 out of 7,900 transactions. This is one of 5 people that I've met in person, 5 sellers, right? Everything I've done has been virtual. So he calls me and he's like, well, I got to see your face. I'm like, oh, this is one of those guys. And if you're in Texas, you understand, if somebody says they got to see you face-to-face do business, you got to see him face to face. That's just a good old boy. And he's a great, whatever. I'm like, all right, here's my address. I gave him the address to the office downtown Dallas, right downtown. He shows up at the office, and mind you, our office in downtown it's in Uptown. So we own a property management company, right downtown that manages thousands of rentals down there. And he stands out like a sore thumb and everybody's looking and smirking and whatever. Well, this guy walks into the office and my business partner's like, oh, hey, and I could tell by the tone of his voice that something wasn't right. So I look and here's a group of bikers, the 1%ers from this biker gang. They're Mongols or something, outlaws. I don't remember which one they were. They're walking in this uptown kind of prestigious real estate brokerage / wholesale company / property management company, right? And the difference between my former business partner and I love him. Him and I are still friends, but the difference between him and I is dude, I've been shot twice, stabbed 5 times, and beat a murder case. I've been a gangster. This dude doesn't scare me at all. He's the polar opposite. He's like, oh, hey. Thinking maybe my past is coming to my checkered past is coming to haunt us or something. I don't know what he was thinking. I never really asked him. I'm gonna have to ask him next time I talk to him. But I could just tell that he thought something was wrong. Well, it was my seller. He's like,
Oh my God.
hey, I'm so-and-so. I don't remember his name right offhand. And if I did, I wouldn't say it on here, obviously. I'm like, oh, hey, come on in. And we start shooting the breeze, and come to find out, like, he's selling me this house, which is in an up and coming neighborhood in like the Bishop Arts District, which is like, you're paying like $500,000 for the dirt. They're building $10 million mansions. And like, that's because you can get away with that. Normally you'd pay a lot more for that dirt, but because people don't know, like, you're getting home run deals, right? I mean, you're talking $80,000 to $100,000 assignments all day long, just on an assignment.
Crazy.
And he walks in, and I'm like, oh, okay. And we get to talking. And next thing I know, he's telling me the story. And this guy's like needs bail money to get his like gang leader out of jail so that they can go find the money, because they got to go raise some more money.
I
And
love where this is going.
yeah, they got to get him out of jail so that they can go find the money, or raise the money, as he put it, so that they can get a lawyer. Because there was this big biker gang shootout, and a couple, like, I think like 30 bikers between the two gangs were killed. Like, this was not just like a gang drive-by shooting. There was a whole bunch of people that got massacred in this fight. So it's probably the craziest, most profitable deal it is the most profitable deal, that on a wholesale deal. On that deal, he ended up giving us that house. Basically, we gave him like $25,000 or something. We ended up making like 200 on the deal. Like,
Was that creative?
It was pretty stupid. What's that?
That's insane. So that was an assignment. That was a creative deal. So that you pretty much just gave him a chunk down, and then you had control of the paper.
No. So that was complete wholesale. Like, we wholesaled it. We wholesaled it to a builder and just got in and out real quick. It was a couple $100,000 wholesale assignment. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool. The other one that was kind of freaky, kind of scary, like, we went through the whole deal, and then it had to be unwound. Like, the whole deal had to be undone. A couple months later, come to find out, the guy that we bought the house from was actually impersonating the actual seller. And the flipper that we wholesaled the deal to found a dead body in the freshly poured concrete back patio. Yeah.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
probably the craziest deal that we've ever seen. They ended up having to undo the deal, found the next of kin. The brother steps in. He sues the title company for what reason. So we had to go through a legal battle. That got all done. We explained to him what really needed to be done. We go back on the title policy, and everything will be okay. This guy goes through, court, and he ended up pleading, but we thought, my partners and I thought we were going to have to testify against the guy. Like, we were getting summons to court and everything for his murder case. And that was probably our craziest, like, bizarre deal there, but we ended up still getting the deal. Like, we ended up getting paid from the title company back, and then redoing the deal back to the deceased brother. Cause obviously he didn't want the house, but that was just in the builder already had a whole bunch of money into the house. It was crazy. That was probably the most interesting one.
Some of the things that you see in this business, I didn't realize that you guys had a property management company too. So you guys are managing thousands of units in Texas then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, between California, Florida, and Texas. Yep.
Okay, cool. So you have, like, is it like 3 different headquarters in each of those states?
No, so we're completely virtual, Michael. Like I said, I've literally only walked 5 properties or met with 5 sellers in person, completely virtual. The only aspect of our business that's not is our retail brokerage. Our agents are still, I mean, it's hard to train a dinosaur. I don't know if you knew that, but they don't really, they're extinct. So yeah, our brokerage is still pretty old school, but we do our old school retail business completely different. And so our agents are trained. I've trained them to do a lot of things differently because difference better than better. But other than that, everything's virtual. So our property management company it's based out of Dallas, Fort Worth, but the gal that runs it and all of her team are out in Colorado. And so it's like everything we do is virtual.
That's incredible. So it's just really sounds like it's all systems. Everyone knows what their role is and
Processes.
processes.
Processes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm sure we could continue to go on and on and on about the ins and outs of this stuff, and I would love to, but I know I respect your time and I seen your schedule, so I don't want to keep you too much longer. But um, do you have any, I guess, like a books that you would recommend? Because I always like to ask about like books if you're a reader.
Leaders are readers, man. I read a couple hundred books a year, and it just depends on what you're interested in. I think that everybody should read Principles by Dalio. I think everybody should read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I think that everybody should read the book Multipliers by Liz Wiseman. Those 3 books right there, you can do anything in business. Those 3 books are hands down the 3 books that I would recommend. I'm good friends with Steve Sims, and so I would highly recommend his book, Blue Fishing. Right now I'm a big fan of Dr. Joe Dispenza, so I'm reading The Placebo Effect by him right now. Yeah, I mean,
I haven't actually. I have a ton of books, and I haven't
I'm looking at my library. Those are like my 3 go-tos. Yeah.
Started reading Principles this morning. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Dalio is a stud. But
yeah.
Good stuff,
and
man.
My book it's like 90% of the way done. My book, hands down, will be the #1 best-selling sales manual ever on the face of the planet. But you don't have to just take my word for it. I mean, Matt Maddox and Tony Robbins hire me to teach them sales and persuasion. So I just haven't written the book yet. It's like 90% done.
All right. So stay tuned for that then. So do you have a title for it yet, or are you gonna hang off on the title? You don't have to say it.
Yeah, the title's not. I'm not going to say it just because it's not out yet, and so it's in editing and publishing right now. So until I get that stamp and it's copyrighted, I'm not going to say what it is. But yeah. I promise you this: there's not a coach or mentor out there that can claim that they've got a 100% success rate, but I can. So
beautiful, man. So for those of the people listening today who maybe just kind of stuck in, whether they're in their real estate business or wherever, like what is one last final thought that you might tell these people in this situation?
Someone that's stuck,
or not necessarily even stuck, just like a final last thought, piece of advice.
Yeah. I would say if I could just give a general statement of advice, it would be to live life as if there's another explanation. If you live life as if there's always another explanation, whatever you're facing, if you're stuck, if it's you want to go from A to B, or maybe you're at D and you want to go to E, F, G, like you want to go from one level to the next, whatever that is that you feel that's holding you back, if you can look at it, I spoke with Tom Bilyeu about 6 months ago at an event right before COVID happened. Well, I guess it's been longer than 6 months. Holy cow, it's back in February. So yeah, 8 months. And Tom Bilyeu, I don't know if you know who he is, Michael. He's an amazing.
Just listened to him at Thrive yesterday.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so him and I spoke together back in February, and you may have heard this because it's part of one of his speeches. But if you live life like there's another explanation, you can act as if you are artificial intelligence. And you see, the reason that's important is because artificial intelligence doesn't get in its own way. What happens with AI? Well, when you hit a wall, it pivots. And then it goes, and it hits a wall, it pivots, and it goes. It's always looking for the other explanation so that it can keep collecting the data, but it's always taking action. And so when you live life as if there's always another explanation, collect the data that you have and pivot and look for the other data or opportunities around it. I mean, every shadow that's cast is coming. There's got to be a light somewhere, right? And so if you're in the shadow of the tree, you got to look around the tree. You've got to pivot and you've got to move. And that's what I would say. I noticed in your thing there, it talks about sales and negotiating and scaling. I'm happy to, I blocked out an hour for you, brother. So I've got time. I've got about 20 minutes if you want
Let's
to
do
talk
it.
about anything else. So
I think the audience would love to hear more about the sales and negotiation process for sure. I mean, that's your specialty. Let's do it.
Yeah. So I'll let you ask the questions, but if I could say anything to anybody that wants to be better at sales, or maybe just get started at sales, or if you're in real estate, like most of us are in this group, right? Or most of us that are listening to this, every conversation is an opportunity of sale, right? Like it's either, like I think Grant Cardone says it, right? Like sell or be sold. It's either you or me. Well,
Yeah.
I would take his book and read it once and throw it out the window. That's just my opinion, because it's all the same stuff after the first two lines. But that's my opinion. I love the guy. I love his marketing. There's a difference between sales and marketing. Sales and marketing are completely different. You can do one, but not the other, but you can't do both. He's a great marketer. And that's about what I would say. With that said, though, sell or be sold is definitely the term behind it. That phrase is definitely the truth. When you're in a communication event, it's like you are either selling the opportunity or the desired reality of that other person in the communication event, or you're not. And that's the key. You see, I like to think of it like you're being a doctor. If you go to the doctor, let's say you think you broke your leg and you don't know, you fell off your bike, right? Or you fell off the treadmill at the gym or whatever. Well, you go to the doctor. Is it comfortable going in? No. Neither is a negotiation. But once you get into the doctor's office, what does the doctor do? The doctor pokes and prods and twists and, sends you to the x-ray and has the other lady do that and pokes and prods and twists and then comes back and then he's like, is this, I looked at the x-rays. Does this hurt? And he pokes and prods some more. If you look at the communication event as if you're a doctor, you can actually diagnose based on the symptoms, and the symptoms come from the questions that you ask. And so it's not what you say, it's how you say it. A lot of us in real estate, want to go around the house and, this needs to be done. Yeah, we're going to have to take all that out. And man, the roof's definitely got to be replaced. People don't want to hear that about their home.
Oh, for sure.
You have to make them feel like it's just a house and be disgusted with it themselves, that they want to give it to you, right? And if you can do that by saying, oh, wow, whose blue room is this? How long has it been since you've had the roof looked at? Oh, wow, 20 years? Have you at least gotten a bid? Like, no, I kept putting it off, like subconsciously. You have to be able to speak to that, right? And so when you can become the doctor and ask the questions that help produce the symptom, you're the antidote. You got the antidote, right? So you talk about their current reality, like where they're at, and then talk about what they wish they had, their desired reality. Man, if we got this roof taken care of for you and we just gave you cash today, just kind of curious, like, what would you guys do with the money? Oh, wow. You go on vacation. Are you going to Disney World or are you going to Europe? And you start putting them there. And now they see what their opportunity is, but they're stuck in their circumstance. Now, the only person standing between them and the opportunity is me. It's you. And you can do that
because you listen to them. You ask them the right questions. You didn't do all the talking. And it sounds like it's not necessarily about the house. It's not about the thing. It's about what it is that they are going to do with that opportunity, the money in their case.
Yeah. I mean, everybody talks about in this business, oh, I'm going driving for dollars. I hate driving for dollars. I hate hearing about driving for dollars. That's a crock. You go drive for dollars. Why? Well, I'm looking for distressed properties. I've got a distressed property right now, but I'm not in a distressed situation. I don't even care about it. It's just sitting there collecting equity. That piece of crap could burn down and I'd be in a better place. But when you start talking to people have distressed situations. And when you can identify situations, I promise you, you'll have a lot better chance of solving problems. And problem solvers are money earners. Problem solvers are world changers. Problem solvers are successful entrepreneurs.
Phenomenal. So you're solving problems. You're asking the right questions, and you're putting yourself. You're kind of putting yourself in their shoes. It sounds like, man, that is so good. I don't even know what to say.
I'll be honest with you. It's your show. I don't want to be in their shoes, and I don't. And this is what is like misunderstood about sales. Like I call it the German Shepherd effect, and I'll tell you why here in just a second. But I don't want to ever be in their shoes ever again. I've been there. I've slept in my car for a year as a single dad, panhandling money, hoping to get a job because the butthead before that was a dummy and smoked dope and drank too much alcohol, right? Like, I've been there. I can ask better questions because I've been there. I don't have to feel sorry for them. They made a choice, or someone else made a choice that they accepted responsibility for, or whatever. And now we just solved the problem. But I don't have to feel sorry for them. I can empathize with them. I can let them know that I care and I want to help them get out of that. But I don't have to. I call it the German Shepherd effect because of this. Most people that ever teach sales are like, oh, go find some commonalities with them and talk about that. So it's like, I don't know. Let's say you like the Atlanta Falcons. You got the red and black there. That just made me think of it, right? Well, I like the Green Bay Packers, and I know that we are rivals. Am I going to talk about the fact that I like the Green Bay Packers? No. But I know that we kicked your butt, and I'm just saying this because your background, the red, black. I know that we kicked your butt in Dallas, at the game, whatever. So, like a couple of years ago, I'm thinking of two different games there, but so I'm going to ask, like, oh wow, you're a Falcons fan? Like, rather than like, oh, I'm a Packers fan. Like, who's your favorite player? Like, you got to admit, like, we both like football. Nobody cares about you. But what if you ask better questions and be like, oh, you're a Falcons fan? How long have you been rooting for those guys? Nice. Whatever. And ask questions about them. And I call it the rack. Like, here's a nugget I'll give you guys. This is one of my secret sauces. Repeat, acknowledge, question. So when they're like, oh, yeah, I love the Falcons. You love the Falcons? You sound excited. How long you been rooting for them? Repeat, you love the Falcons? Acknowledge with the feeling or emotion. Gosh, you sound excited. You acknowledge them. Then you ask them a question. How long have you been cheering for them? Repeat, acknowledge, question. When you do that, you'll make more money. Your wife will do more dishes. Your kids will do more laundry, and you will live your best life. I promise you that.
Love it. So where do people go wrong in that process? Because, you covered a lot of things, but is it not picking and prodding enough? Because I think from my experience, people, and I don't mean to answer the question, but I think from my experience, I see people not necessarily asking deep enough questions, and everything's surface level, and then you never really fully understand that person's situation. So
say in your opinion, people in the back, it's surface level. Say that.
It's 100% surface level. So you got to go deeper, but the rack is how you get deeper, right? You're getting in there.
Between that and just having a process, I have a 5-step process to every conversation. I mean, we're almost right in the middle of it, but it's a podcast, so it's a little different. It's portrayed out, right? However, and we don't have enough time to go through that today, and I can show you and your audience how to get access to that. But the problem that people have with the whole surface level thing is they do like what the seller be sold guy said. They do what the pretenders say, and they're like, find common ground and talk about that. Oh, you like football? I do too. I call it the German Shepherd effect. I had a client once that just could not get out of her way. Like the 2 students or clients that I've ever fired, this was one of them. And I modeled this after her. I call it the German Shepherd effect. Every time she would talk to a customer that had a dog, she would bring up her German Shepherd. Goodness gracious, lady, shut up about your German Shepherd. Nobody cares about your stupid dog. But what you can do is you could ask better questions. Like, oh, wow, Michael, role play with me here. Do you have a dog, by the way?
I do.
You do? Okay, so let's role play. I just heard your dog bark. And I would say, oh, wow, I heard your dog. What kind of dog do you have?
Golden Doodle.
You have a golden doodle? Gosh, those are expensive, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, was that your wife's choosing or was that yours?
Oh, it was a wife's birthday gift. You better believe that.
Oh, you said that with too much confidence, Michael. You better watch what you say. She's probably going to watch this.
She is.
All right, back to role playing. Oh, wow, that was your wife's choice? Does she make all the choices around here?
No, definitely not.
Notice I just racked. So now I know when I get to closing the deal, I better have the wife involved because he wasn't too confident saying that she doesn't make all the choices. Number one, mental note. When I'm going to sell something to Michael, better have the wife around. That's my mental note. Number two, so why did she choose the golden doodle?
Well, the Golden Doodle's hypoallergenic, so it doesn't shed. That's
oh, wow, it's hypoallergenic? That's exciting. So is that because you guys have allergies or are you allergic to most dogs?
Nope, just don't like the dog hair.
Just don't like the dog hair. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, who likes cleaning, right? Question.
For sure.
You see what I'm doing there? Like, it's just a conversation.
Yeah.
I don't need to talk about the fact that I breed pit bulls and my German Shepherd down the road just got his head bit off and blah, 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 blah. Like, right. I've seen a golden doodle. I know that they're cute and they're soft and they're great family dogs. You know, I could bring that up. Man, those golden doodles, I hear that they're a great family dog. Do you guys have children?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nice. How many kiddos you have?
We have a little girl with another on the way.
Wow, you've got a little girl and another one on the way. How old's the age difference there?
It'll be 2 years, just over 2 years.
Oh, that's exciting. So I'm sure the 2-year-old's excited about being a big sister, huh?
She's pumped. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, man, that's amazing. Is she laying there at night, like listening to the baby, like go crazy?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice. Man, you've done this a time or two, huh? Like you're good at this. So it's just it's a simple rack. It's a simple.
Well, and there's like family, occupation, recreation, like FORM. If you know what someone's for, you'll always solve their motivation.
Family. Can you say that again? Family, occupation.
Yeah, I'll repeat that for the people in the back. Family, occupation, recreation, always solve someone's motivation.
Gotcha.
Okay. So I have this 5-step sales process, and that's step number 1 is building rapport with form, family, occupation, recreation, always solves motivation. So, and that's like the 30-second view of that. But yeah, so it's like, so now I know that you're married. I know that you got a golden doodle. I know that you got 2 girls, that one's on the way and one's almost 2. Like, gosh, the only thing I need to know about you is what kind of work you've done and how long you've done it and where you grew up. And I know everything about you. I could sell you anything, or I could get you to sell me your house because you know, like, and trust me. And I didn't do it maliciously. Like, I actually gave a darn. Like, right. Dude, I could, like, you could picture, it gave me goosebumps thinking about it. Like, you can picture your little girl getting excited and giddy about the new baby on the way. That's 100%. Amazing. Yeah.
Dude, that's nuts. It's
and
crazy.
Now you want to sell me your 2-1, your desired reality, because you're growing your family. You want to upgrade your house. This is great. I would love to talk about your house so you can get into your new home.
There we go.
Yeah.
Gold nuggets, just 100% fire, man. I keep going. I don't know. I don't know what else to ask. We're running out of
Well,
time though.
as the host, Michael, don't ever admit that again. That's a tip for you. Don't ever
Deal.
say that you don't know what to ask. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you guys, it's not about what you do, it's how you do it. Like, do you really give a darn about the people involved, or is it all about the money? You know, I heard a speaker, one of the screw-roo poo-roos in our real estate industry say, all those people that say it's not about the money, they don't have money. No, bro, I live off of 10% of my income and I give the other 90% away. Let me repeat that again. I live off of 10% of my income. I don't need $20 million in the bank again. I've had that. I was miserable.
I think that's important for people to understand who are chasing money. And I posted about that this morning. I think you saw that post there. Just really focusing on your bigger, like why you're doing what you're doing. And I know you kind of elaborated on that earlier, but having that purpose and like what gets you up every day. Why are you busting your face at, running 3 businesses that are highly successful? And why are you on, why are you doing podcasts like this? Like it's a bigger reason why you're doing this stuff.
Yeah.
It's more than just some money.
I've got my vision board up. You guys can't see it, but I've got my vision board up right here. I've got a chair in the corner in my office. Like I sit myself in the corner and visualize every morning for about 35 to 40 minutes as to what I'm doing. And the first thing I do is I look at Steve Jobs and Einstein and Jesus and Oprah and Abraham Lincoln. And then my picture's right there. Like I'm changing the world. Real estate is just a vehicle. It's a very lucrative vehicle, but it's just a vehicle. And, I'm about to do a live stream in one of my groups, and I literally titled it Wake Up. Like, wake up, America. Wake up, world. Like, not the legalistic view of like getting up and getting out of bed. Like, if you put your feet on the ground, wake up. There's so much more out there, and there's so many people that are starving for attention and starving for affection. And gosh, if we just gave a darn. And real estate to me is just a vehicle to do that. So.
Love it, man. Love it. All right, guys. Well, I don't know about you, but this was an insane amount of value. And so if you got value from today's show, please make sure to hit the like button, share it, tell your friends about what Bryce is doing. He's on a mission, and he's going to change. He's changing a lot of lives. He's going to change a lot more lives. Bryce, where can people learn more about what you're doing?
Yeah, man, I'm glad that you asked. So I've got it up here. I'll put a link in there unless you can put it up on the screen here. But
Sure.
I actually have a 5-day challenge going on, and I would love for you to come hang out with my team and I. So since we're all in real estate, if you want to do 5, 10, 20 deals a month or more, this challenge is for you. I'm going to show you how to generate hundreds of free hot motivated sellers that don't cost you a dime. Like when I was sleeping in my car, how I did 23 deals my first month, 37 deals my second month. This is exactly how I do it. And I teach it, like I give it all away. That's done, 19 transactions in 30 days just from coming through the challenge. And so you can go to the number 5 hourfliplive.com/challenge. That's 5hourfliplive.com/challenge. And you can join us. Day 1 was yesterday. Today is day 2. All the videos are pinned in the group, and we do a challenge every 2 to 3 weeks. And so you can always just register there for the next challenge that's available. And then we have our 2-day event where we go in deep. You like deep dive into, and it actually has day 5 of the challenge, which is an overview if you want to just go check it out. At 5hourfliplive.com. And we've got a 2-day event coming up in November. I mean, Michael, I don't know if you've ever hired a speaker like myself or like Tony Robbins or anything like that, but I get paid tens of thousands of dollars to come speak on stage. Like my last speaking gig was $25,000 to speak for 45 minutes. And so this is a 2-day deep dive. You cannot get this value anywhere else. Once a month or once every other month at 5hourfliplive.com. It's a 2-day deep dive. It's November 13th and 14th. So it's a Friday, Saturday. And we're going to open up the books. I'm going to share my story again. We're going to role play deals. Heck, we might even call some sellers, call some buyers. I'm going to give you my number one tip on maximizing profits on every single deal. Like where the average deal in this business, whether it's creative finance or wholesale or flip, the average deal is between $8,000 and $20,000. My average deal is 18.6 to 35. Like I start out, my low end average deal is at the high end of the national average because of this one thing that I do differently than anybody else. And we give that away at the 2-day event. There's also a whole bunch of bonuses. I go through a mindset technique that literally will change your life for life. That's in the mindset bonuses. So you guys can check that out at 5hourfliplive.com. Get your tickets there if you want to be a part of that.
Guys, are you hearing this right now? What would $18,000 do for you? And by the way, what would a free event that's teaching all of this do for you? Man, thank you so much for sharing this, Bryce. And I'll include these links
here.
The
November event is not free. The November event is not free. Don't mistake that.
Okay.
The challenge is free, but the November event is not free. It's $99 to $250. But for $250, you get to hang out with my team and I for 2 days. And heck, I think you probably actually show on the screen here, like you get to like just on the 2-day event. Can I share my screen?
Let me see here.
Here.
Okay.
Here you go. Is it sharing?
I'm trying to figure it out here. Let's see.
Oh, that's cool. I think you just click on the little thing at the bottom there. But either way, it's no big deal.
There it is.
No, that's
is that your screen?
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, so if you look here, so this right here, $99, you get 2 days hanging out with my team and I. We're going to give you video training on how to make your Facebook profile vettable so that, you get lenders that will actually lend you money, people that actually sell you deals. I'm going to give you a glossary terminology, like all the investment terms in real estate, 4 personalities and your DISC assessment, like how you do a DISC assessment, how you know who you are, the types of personalities. We've got an ebook, intentionality versus reactionary. It's actually a video training that I did. It's not an ebook. That's a mistake on my team, but it's a video training, all for $99. Or for like $149, I'm going to give you sensory-based words that identify how people hear and respond, plus all the general admission bonuses. And then a video training on the trophy effect. This is a crowd favorite, like literally how we unleash your full potential and this was something that I taught Tony Robbins personally. He hired me to teach him this. The 10 common title mistakes and how to solve them from my partner, Kyle. 14 common mistakes when flipping a house. It's a video from Kyle. Or for $249, my ARV training and how I can show you how to run a comp 99% accurate without MLS in 5 minutes or less. I show you how to do that. And then my top 7 NLP techniques, just that alone right there is about a $5,000 course for $250, plus you get all the other stuff. And then this is the big seller everybody likes, like all 50 contracts. My business partner has got a file with every contract in the United States. And then the ultimate creative finance bundle from Kyle. It's a video training on creative finance. And so that's for $249. And then it's a 2-day like deep dive into my business. So Yeah, 5hourfliplive.com is where it's at, man.
Fantastic, man. So much value. Guys, go check out the 5hourfliplive.com and make sure to get in on Bryce's challenge for sure. And then definitely check out his event there, because that's the amount of value for that price is just unheard of. I don't know about you, Bryce, but there's guys out there selling courses for, $20, $30, $40,000 of the same exact stuff. I mean, I
It's
paid
not
it.
the same exact stuff. I'll tell you that.
Right. But you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. But
For
awesome,
sure.
dude. Well, thank you so much, Bryce. I really appreciate it. I know my audience is gonna love this. And until next time, man.
Go follow me on Instagram, Coach Sharpen, or REI Results Academy on Instagram. Bryce McKinley all over the place. Love you, bro. Appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.